Hi everyone, it's Julie here, your pet grief expert. One of the questions that I get asked a lot from my clients is, why don't other people understand? Why don't they understand how terrible I'm feeling, how upset I'm feeling? They just don't get it. Sometimes even people that have got pets themselves don't really get it. And they might think they're being helpful by suggesting, oh, go and get another pet, go get another dog, or why don't you start dog sitting, or go and do cat cuddling, why don't you see if you can look after your friend's bird while they go on holiday? And those things might help some people, but for most people they'll know when they're ready, and they don't need friends or colleagues pushing it at them. Quite often bosses at work, they don't understand that you're grieving just the same as if it was another family member, and they expect you after a day or so just to get on with it. Come on, think positive, cheer yourself up. But we know it doesn't work like that. We know how we feel inside, and some of us feel a sense of emptiness or just overwhelming sadness. Some of us feel like we want to burst into tears every time somebody mentions our pet. But then again, some clients, I find that if they get upset because people haven't mentioned their pets and they're avoiding the conversation because they don't want to see you all upset. People quite often don't know what to do. And perhaps they're being a bit insensitive sometimes, or perhaps they're just genuinely trying to be helpful but not really being helpful at all. People tend to react to things based on all the things that has happened in their life to make them the way they are. And their reactions, the things that they say, quite often it's nothing to do with you at all. It's everything to do with all the things that have happened in their life to make them the way they are, to make them think the way that they do. So, for a moment, I just want you to close your eyes and I'm going to tell you a story. And this story will probably help to explain why some people really just don't get it. Some people do and they're great. And some people just don't seem to care at all. Okay, so close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just continue to listen to the sound of my voice. So I want you to imagine now that you're going into a shop, a clothes shop, a shop you haven't been in before, and you're walking around, and out of the corner of your eye you see a hat stand. And you don't usually wear a hat, or only when it's very cold, but you really like the look of some of those hats on there. And you go over to the display and you look at them and you see one that you really, really like. It's like nothing you've ever tried before, but you put it on in the mirror and you're turning it on an angle and you're looking this way and that way, and you really, really like what you see. You think, yeah, I'm going to get this. So you pick it up and you go over to the cash till. You pay for the hat and you say to the assistant, I really like this, I'm going to wear it now. Can you cut the tickets off? And she does what you ask and you put the hat on and you go out into the street feeling really, really pleased with yourself. And you've only gone a few hundred yards and somebody who you know calls you. Hey, hi, it's me. And you turn round and they say, oh my God, look at that hat. It looks wonderful and you really suit it. Where did you get it? You should wear hats like that all the time. And you stand to chat for a little while until it's time to say goodbye and you both go on your way, feeling really pleased. You're so happy now that you bought this hat. You're walking further down the road and then you come across somebody else you know. And they look at you a bit doubtfully, but they're still quite polite. They say, oh, have you got a new hat? Yeah, well, I can see it kind of suits you. Not my kind of thing, but yeah, I can see you can get away with it. And again, you stop to chat for a while before making your way down the road again. And then somebody else you know called you. Ooh, ooh, oh my God, what are you wearing, they say. Are you wearing it for a bet? Oh my God, what is it, fancy dress party or something? And they laugh their heads off at you. And now you can't wait to get away and say your goodbyes. So you say your goodbyes and say you've got things to do and make your way along the road. And you're starting to feel really fed up now. You start to wonder why you ever bought the hat in the first place. You're walking down the road feeling really, really fed up. And you see a shop window and you notice your reflection and you stop. And you stare at your reflection because you see what you saw in the shop. You look amazing. The hat really suits you. And then it dawns on you that all those people you met, the 3 people, they were only telling you what they thought, based on their experiences of life, perhaps their experiences of hats. It's nothing to do with you, and they thought those kind of thoughts long before the hat ever existed. Maybe even before the shop was there. Certainly before you bought the hat. So there was the first one who really liked the hat, really liked what you looked. The second one wasn't quite sure, but at least they were a bit polite. And the third one who was just flipping rude. And you smile because you realise all those people were doing were telling you what they thought based on their taste, what they like, all the things that have happened to them, nothing to do with you, nothing to do with hat at all. And I want you to think about that for a moment. Because people are like that. You will always meet people who think the same way you do and like the same things you do. And perhaps they're like the pet owners that understand your pet grief. Perhaps they've lost a pet before themselves, or they've felt the way that you do. There'll be others that completely don't understand and think you're completely mad. And, why would you even bother? It's only an animal. And there are others that, well, to be honest, they've got their own lives and they couldn't care less about what's going on in yours. And it's nothing to do with you or your grief or your pet. It's not to say that you're doing anything wrong or feeling anything wrong. And perhaps they don't even mean to be unkind. It's just the way that they are. Just the way they think. So I want you to close your eyes a moment again and think about the hat. Or if you can't imagine yourself in a hat, imagine yourself wearing a jacket in the same thing. You really like it, you meet somebody else who likes it, someone else who's not bothered, and it's all right if you like that sort of thing. And another one who thinks it's absolutely hilarious or just really doesn't suit you at all and that you look terrible. Think about that for a minute. Think what that means. Everybody has their own individual experiences in life. Everybody. You might not understand things that your friends are going through. Perhaps you have a really great marriage and you don't understand somebody else going through a divorce. Doesn't mean their divorce might be, is wrong. It's just, it's not something you've experienced, so you don't really get it. Perhaps, it could be something that's happened with their children and it's not happened to your children, or you don't have children. And again, your opinions are based on your experiences, just like their opinions are based on their experiences. And they probably don't mean any harm most of the time. They just don't understand. So be tolerant of them. Even when you're thinking to yourself, I could really do without this at the moment. I could really do without your opinion on this at the moment. Just think, well, maybe they don't understand. They're not trying to be unkind. You know, perhaps they'll deal with it a bit better, or, you know, how they speak to you a bit better, a bit kinder. Be a bit more understanding, particularly if it's someone you don't know very well, maybe people at work, things like that. Maybe even if you've been to your doctor to get help with sleeping, or something for your anxiety if you haven't been able to deal with it any other way. And perhaps you wish they'd have been a bit more sympathetic. Or perhaps you were lucky enough to have really great support around you, people that do understand and do understand why you feel the way you do. If you're really struggling with your feelings, look through some of the other videos. There are tapping techniques, there's breathing techniques, there's all sorts of things that can help you cope when you're going through your difficult time. And particularly if you're getting stressed when other people are not understanding. And you don't really understand why they don't understand. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? Of course you're going to be upset. Of course your heart's going to be breaking. It's probably just that they don't have the experience, or that they've got a different personality and they experience things differently to you. And I hope this video's helped you in some small way. Even if it makes you feel better that not everyone's against you. Not everyone's being deliberately difficult, deliberately horrible. It's probably just that they don't understand. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to share this with anyone you think that it would help. Or like I say, watch some of the other exercises, the tapping or the breathing exercises in the other videos. And I'll see you on one of the next ones.